What is going on, you guys? Today I have another quick video review for you. This one is from a channel called What is going on, you guys? Today I have another quick video review for you. This one is from a channel called Evan A, and the title is Da Nang Vietnam Cost of Living in 2025. Let's get into it.
That is where you're either going to make or break your budget, in my opinion. The way I break down the Philippines is very upfront, blunt. You get English everywhere. You're going to be able to meet women. That's not a problem. The other pro of the Philippines, budget in Bangkok, I would say we were spending right around $1,100. Budget was broken this month, if you want to count that. Usually the budget is $750. I technically lived in 3 countries. I really enjoy Thailand. I really enjoy Bangkok specifically. Cost of living. Philippines is my most expensive country out of the 3, out of Vietnam, Thailand, and Philippines. I want to have a beach city, an international airport, enough Western amenities. I'm going to get to it very simply. My 2 worst cons that I think you guys are going to relate to, your second con is going to be the 90-day visa. That's it. You have to leave the country. I'll never be able to learn it, but the one thing that forces you to learn while you're in Asia is patience. And people's response is, that's Vietnam. Whatever is supposed to make sense doesn't make sense. Don't make a long-term decision before you get out to wherever, no matter how much you feel about it. My thing, I just got so tired of living in the USA. I was tired of living the rat race. So what I did, the reason why I'm out here now, I left the United States. I saved up 1 year of cost of living in Vietnam, a little over $10,000. And I said, as soon as I have this, I'm getting the hell out of the USA. Yeah, I'm Will from Will Travels. I do a YouTube channel, focus on travel budget.
Nice, man. Great to have you. Where are you from originally?
I am from California, the United States, and I'm from the Bay Area, so about 30 minutes away from San Francisco. And
What do you budget monthly for breakfast, and how do you start your day?
okay, very simple. Breakfast is very easy I live with my girlfriend, so we're both here. To be honest, we don't get up in time for breakfast. So breakfast, even back when I was in the USA, I never was a breakfast guy. So breakfast, usually we don't eat. The first meal of the day that we'll eat is maybe about 11 or 12. So maybe you guys call that a late breakfast, but it's usually, I'll just have some rice, fried egg, bread. If we go out, it'll be something simple like a banh mi. So maybe just grab a quick banh mi, and that's about it, which a banh mi is 20,000 that we get. So not even $1.
You're talking under $1 a day budget for breakfast. Nice. And what about lunch? Are you grocery and cooking at home, or are you almost all meals out?
No, so I've done both. I've definitely done almost the 90% cooking, and I've done almost like the 90% going out. Currently, right now, we're kind of testing out, just budget-wise and just time-wise, eating out. So very simple to kind of summarize it. If you guys come to Vietnam or most of Asia, eating out is usually going to be as cheap, if not cheaper, than cooking Asian food, whatever home country you're in. If you go get burgers and steak, it's obviously probably going to be more expensive to eat out. But if you go eat local food here, it's going to be as cheap, sometimes cheaper, to go out and eat.
Did you meet your girlfriend here, or did she come with you? Or?
No, I met her back in the Philippines 2 years ago. So I've been to 20 countries, 10 in Asia, 9 in Europe, and Mexico. So my whole international travel started back in 2019. So I traveled a ton back then. Wish I would have started the YouTube channel back at that time, because that would have documented another 15 countries that I went to just back in 2019 itself. But I met my girlfriend in the Philippines, and then she's been traveling with me for the past 2 years.
And dinner's out too? And are you doing primarily, because this makes a big difference budget-wise, are you eating Vietnamese?
Yeah, so it's very simple. So we're eating out. Dinner almost every single day is eating out. We have a rotation. We have about 5, 6, 7 restaurants that we rotate, and it basically works like this. We go local about 5 nights a week, and then we'll go what we call Western twice a week. We'll go to a Bikini Bottom for the locals out here. It's like a burger spot. And we'll go to like even though it's not technically Western, it's not Vietnamese, we go to the Thai Kin Kin restaurant. We'll do that twice a week. And then the rest of the time we will go to local. So usually 4 or 5 nights a week local, and 2 or 3 nights a week, maybe at most, it will be Western food.
And so what's the overall spend? Like, what's your number you have set for the day? Because I know on your channel you have those awesome spreadsheets. So what's the daily number? What's the monthly average?
So we average, or at least I set my budget for 250,000 max. Usually we're coming in 180 to 200,000, which is about $8 a day. And if you want to break that cost down per month, I think the lowest month for food and going out and eating was about 190 for both of us. And at times we can get up to about 240 at the most. I like to say right around $200. If we go out and kind of blow the budget a little bit, go out to pizza or go out for extra, maybe 220 a month.
Under $200 US for 2 adults to eat out 3 meals a day for an entire month. It does sort of bust some of those myths. But when you hear those numbers, I mean, compared to back home, I'm Canadian, but anywhere in North America, to try and eat for $10 a day for 2 people.
I do want to. We usually don't eat 3 times. We'll usually skip the breakfast. But if you want to be fair, if we did, even if you want to calculate for that, we would probably be at about $250. So if you guys want to pencil in kind of what I spend, it would be about $250.
So think about that. $250 if they were to eat out, 2 people to eat out every single meal every day of the month. $250 is like some family's grocery bill to cook at home and not eat out. So keep that in mind, right? Like your dollar can stretch a lot farther. And of course, they could also cook at home too. So they would be saving a lot more in that regard too.
If we did eat breakfast. But like I said, I usually skip breakfast. Even when I was in the USA, I just never was a breakfast guy. So we kind of realized washing dishes, preparing the food, cooking the food. We were like, hey, like let's try it out this way. And then when we balanced it out, it was almost the same, like maybe slightly lower, maybe slightly higher, but it was almost no difference. So the only time I really cook now is when I want to make something that I either can't find here or some kind of Western food. I'll make burgers and fries or cook a steak, or I think for Christmas I made a roast. So those things like that I'll cook, but I almost kind of have the rule that if it's Vietnamese food or Asian food, I pass and I go out to eat it. That's kind of how I break it down.
100%. The majority of people here, even if they're cooking when they first get here, after a few months or a year, they find themselves eating out 3 times a day because it's probably just straight up cheaper. But even if it's not cheaper cost-wise, if you're factoring in how much time it takes to cook, clean, all those things Will mentioned, it's
easier and simpler. Yeah.
Nightlife. And I mean, that can be pretty as you're into, whether you're hanging out by the beach, you're going to movies, you're Netflix, or you're like the bar and party type. Like, what do you do for nightlife? What's your sort of daily versus monthly budget?
So that is where you're either going to make or break your budget, in my opinion. Outside of rent, that's going to be where you make or break. So I do not drink. I stopped drinking years ago. So I don't drink alcohol. I don't go to clubs. I don't get massages. I don't party. So a lot of you guys are gonna be like, oh, this guy is so boring. Our entertainment, kind of what our nightlife is, we go to the beach. We hang out at the beach. We will go to street markets. Every once in a while, we'll go to the Dragon Bridge. We'll go do simple things. We might go to the mall to go bowling, watch a movie every once in a while. So the majority of our nightlife, if you even want to call it that, is cheap or free. So we don't really have a nightlife in that aspect. We hang out with some Westerners that we know out here. We hang out. Maybe I'll grab a Coke or something, a coconut juice. So our nightlife is very cheap. Now, I do have friends that gets pretty expensive. They'll go get a massage every day. They'll have a few drinks, and their stuff can go up. But that's a huge category where I save a lot of money. That's why my budget is so low.
I had the same thing for different reasons. I didn't quit drinking, but I met my wife, and then we ended up with 2 young kids. So we also, I mean, nightlife, most days after dinner, it's home time, maybe a beach. Yeah, maybe if there's like fireworks, go to a Dragon Bridge, an occasional movie or like a date night out when we have a babysitter. But if let's put a number on it, what do you think, $50 maybe?
Oh, no, less than that. I would say maybe $25, maybe.
I've seen some of the videos showing up now, and people are saying, oh, the $500 a month thing is a myth. But I mean, the reality for me is we're a family of 4, and we're doing under $2,000 a month. 2,000 divided by 4 is $500, right? Gym, sports, recreation, any kind of membership.
Okay, so obviously you guys see I'm built like Arnold Noam. So I don't have a gym membership. I do try to get my 10,000 steps in a day. I walk almost everywhere here. So that's kind of where I guess you would say my exercise goes a bit more, but we walk everywhere. That's why I really like to base myself in An Thuong. Grab, well, we take InDrive. I don't know how many people know about that, but it's equivalent to Grab. And we maybe take that 3 or 4 times a month. So all of our exercise, our sports, whatever you want to call it, is basically just walking. So we do know that there are gyms here, and they are kind of pricey in my opinion, especially when you compare them back to the USA price. A place called the Pig Gym that's right near us. We're only a couple blocks away, and it's like $30, I heard, minimum. And if you go to the USA, you guys can go to like a Planet Fitness or something like that. And it's like $10 a month. If you guys notice, all the locals are down at the beach at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, and they're doing their stretching and jogging. So locals really generally, I hear, don't go to the gym and don't go pay memberships. So I'm kind of a local in that sense, I guess. Then.
So what do you do? What do you and your partner do for health insurance? Do you have travel insurance? Do you save for it? Do you just budget for it in case of?
Yeah, so a lot of people kind of beat me down on that. I don't have travel insurance. I do kind of have some money put away just in case. In the USA, I never really had health insurance anyways. I'm kind of a rogue like that. I don't take aspirin, I don't take medicine, I don't do any of that, and I kind of just wing it in that sense that I do have some money put away if something happened.
As a Canadian, I grew up with social services and health insurance. When I first came here with a work permit and working for a company, I had health insurance through my job. But based on my experiences with Vietnamese healthcare, it was so affordable that I now just have the same thing. We have a budgeted amount for healthcare that rolls over every month if we don't use it, because it's so affordable. The flip side of that is I've had my parents visit, and they're both elderly, and they both happen to have or had cancer. So for them, travel insurance is the biggest cost outside of their airfare and flights over here. For example, last time they were here, it was $4,500 for 2 flights return and $2,000 for 2 of them. So $1,000 each to insure for 55 days if you're an elderly person. In their case, or if you're older, you might not want to, wing it like a younger person.
I do admit that's probably one thing that I should probably look at, but maybe stupidly, I just don't have it right now.
I mean, I'm in the same boat. That's everyone's own decision, right? Yeah. Your electricity, your water, your phone plan, your internet, any of those. If you want to include things like if you have a Netflix or you're using a VPN or any that monthly subscription.
Right. Very simple. So when I came here, I negotiated directly with the landlord. So I was lucky enough that I pay one fee for my rent, which includes everything. So my rent includes electricity, includes water, it includes internet, Wi-Fi, everything. So I pay her on the 12th every month. That's my rent date, and that covers everything. So I don't have to look and see how much electricity I spend or water. It's all factored in. So it's kind of like a Netflix type of thing. It's if I use no electricity, I still get charged the same amount, and if I use 3 ACs the whole time, it's the same thing. So my rent in American dollars is $550, 14 million. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. We are directly on the beach of the Maikee Beach. So we pay $550.
Okay, think about that. It's not just a one-person place. 2-bedroom, and it's $550 a month. and it includes all the utilities. Try getting that in the US, and you wonder why people are leaving.
For every single thing that's tied to your rent.
Is it in a walk-up building? Is it in like a condo, or is it in like a kind of hotel that has serviced apartment type rooms, or what sort of style of place is that?
We are in a condo. It's one of the largest condos here. It's called Muang Tan. It's like a 42-story condo, and we're up at the top. And the downside, which some people say, is if you go about dinner time or breakfast time, you might take 3 or 4 minutes to get up the elevator. So it is a tall building, but that is our whole expense with our rent budget. And for myself, I know it's another thing that I'm gonna say is probably a little not normal or kind of stupid, is that 70% of our budget is our rent.
The interesting thing is at home, someone might say, keep it under 30% of your budget. But when you're budgeting as strict as you are and you're, living at that kind of cost of living, it kind of changes things, right? And I will say, I've stayed in an Airbnb in Muang Thang about, excuse my pronunciation, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It is 20 feet from the 2 biggest and most popular beach bars. You cannot be closer to the heart of it.
It's a minute and a half. Once we're down on the elevator, it's literally a minute and a half to get to the beach.
And does that building, so it's $550 a month. Does it have a pool or a gym or anything? Okay.
No, those are the 2 things that it's missing. My phone plan, I get a 7 gigabyte per day or 210 gigabyte per month. I do actually need that. Most of you guys will not need that, but like I mentioned before, I do a lot of live stream on YouTube. There's only been twice that I've ever ran out of data. So 7 gigabytes is a lot of data. I had to do like a 7 or 6 hours worth of live stream to run out. But that plan is $5 US a month. It's 125,000 VND, which is exactly $5 US for 7 gigabytes per day. And if I didn't do live streams, it'd be impossible to run out of that data.
What do your costs for transportation? Do you have any?
Yep. So like I said, I mostly walk everywhere. I would say at least 90% is walking, maybe 95% sometimes. The only time we ever take transportation would be if it's raining. So it's been raining the past couple months. If we were out at a
That's worth keeping in mind too. So a lot of these cities that people like to move to, in Southeast Asia, even Latin America too, I've noticed they're pretty walkable. So you can get a good rate for rent in a downtown area where you can walk. So you actually don't need to have the car bill, the gas, the auto insurance. You can just skip that. And if you really need to, you can call an Uber. And oftentimes, Asia, they would have Grab or InDrive, like you mentioned. But a ride somewhere would maybe cost like $2, if that, maybe even less. You might not even need it, right? $5 maximum. I can remember a lot of times that my rides were like $2, $1, less than $1. And that's because the overall cost of living is way down.
restaurant or something, we would just kind of just take a InDrive. Or if I have to go renew my visa and go do a visa run and I had to go across town, or we had to go across the river, that's when I will take the InDrive/Grab. And I would say, when off the top of my head, on my Google spreadsheet, it's always been under $10, but usually a normal month will be about $5 US for our transportation.
It's pretty realistic to take a taxi or a Grab car here and to have it cost $1 to go across town. So tell me a little bit about the difference between InDrive, Grab. I've never even heard of InDrive, so I'm excited to learn something new.
InDrive is awesome, man. I wish that it sounds like, I know when people watch my live stream, they say like, oh, you must be sponsored. I am not sponsored by InDrive. I would love to be, because I actually love their stuff. But basically, it's exactly the same. The only difference is it's roughly 20 to 40% cheaper. If you go from the beach to the airport, it's about 40% cheaper. I know, I'm a budget guy, so I know exactly how much. If I go from the airport to the beach, it's 90,000 on Grab. Usually it'd be 89,000 if you guys want to be specific. So we just call it 90,000. When I do the same thing on InDrive, it's usually about 50 or 55,000. So it's the same thing. I guess technically the only downside for some people is it's all cash, so you can't pay on card. But besides that, same nice quality cars, same driving, no issues. So I've been using it for about 6 months, 100% now. But it's not also in every city too. We went to Hue, we went to a city called Dong Hoi, and it wasn't there. So I guess those would be the two downsides. Not in every city, and you do have to pay in cash, which is not a problem for me.
And are they doing cars, motorbikes, and food delivery, or is it just a private car hire service?
Everything besides food delivery. So there is no food delivery, but it's kind of the same structure as Grab. So Grab will have the car, and if you take the scooter Grab, or scooter InDrive, it's half price. So it's kind of the same price structure. Yep.
Last one would be travel, recreation. Obviously, even though people are coming here from America, from Europe, from Australia, most of you are still going to want to do weekend trips. You're going to, want to take a week and explore a little bit, get around. So what are you budgeting monthly to go to Hawaii, like you were talking about, or maybe to go back to Philippines?
We just did our first kind of trip, a little travel vacation, this past month, February. We don't really travel as much as we should. That is going to be a thing that I'm going to start doing. But so we went out for 7 days. We split up that trip to Hue and to Dong Hoi. Most people are not going to know where Dong Hoi is. We did it very simple, and we took Vietnamese Railway, which is a great train. It takes you by the coast. You go by the coast, you pass the beach from Da Nang to Hue, and we stayed in Hue for 3 days. That train ticket was $3 a piece. So extremely cheap, nice trains. They're not bad trains at all. Reclining seats, AC, everything. That trip cost me about $175, a little bit under $200 for everything. That included the food, the transportation, the buses or the trains, the hotels, everything. So this month, actually, you guys are the first to kind of hear that my budget was broken this month, if you want to count that. Usually the budget is $750. It's always $750. It comes down maybe every once in a while to $720, $730. So my budget ends in 5 days, and it's probably going to be a little over $900 this month. Still going to be under $1,000, but it's probably going to be a little over $900.
For those of you who aren't,
Okay, by the way, so they were talking about the train there. So like flights, if you want to go from like Vietnam to like Thailand or something, just to check it out, right, for the weekend or whatever, that's a lot cheaper than it is in the US to go like a couple states over, right? In the US, it's like a couple hundred. In Southeast Asia, to go not a couple states over like in the US, but another country, it's like maybe 45, 50, maybe not around $90 max. You can get good deals on that too, but just keep that in mind. Like travel costs way less if that's something that you are interested in doing. And I think they're going to get into it now, but he just mentioned his budget. Like, so this month he broke the budget and they're going to go over like 900 or 1,000. So he usually spends about 1,000 or less every month. So think about that with what you earn in the US or what country you're watching this from and how much better it could be for you.
thinking in terms of your yearly or annual budget, or if you're on Social Security, if you're on some kind of pension, what Will just told you is that you can retire in Vietnam for under $10,000 a year. And he's talking about the cost of him and his partner and his girlfriend, under $10,000 a year, with that $1,000 sort of leniency in there for medical costs, for travel.
Wow, okay. 10,000 a year. Okay, so maybe I had the number off before. 10,000 a year is nuts. I mean, that's like on the low end, people in the US might be making like 20, 30, 40,000 a year. So if you get like a remote job and pull it there and you can only spend 10,000 a year and that's it, and you're saving the rest, that's so good, especially if you have a job that makes even more, right? Like 50, 60K plus, like going up. You could start to think about retiring early and not needing to work for so long to start doing what you really want to do with your life. You could just move there, start enjoying it, even if you have to work for a little while. Like, you're going to save a lot faster, and so it's going to take you a lot less time to get to the financial goal that you want to get to. And that would be obviously, the thing to be grateful for being maybe from one of these Western countries or a country that out earns there, and being a digital nomad moving to somewhere like Vietnam. There's other examples of that too, but 10,000 is pretty wild.
Cost or something. I think it's realistic, and I think it's absolutely awesome that you're doing that, Will. Like, people do, and you get it in the comments all the time. You hear back in the feedback. People think you're full of it. Not only is it really realistic to do what is essentially $500 a person, or in your case less, you're talking about $375 a person.
And I want to be fair. So I spend a lot on rent. So we have been trying to get down to a 1-bedroom. So if I get down to a 1-bedroom, I could realistically knock our $750 budget down to about $600 realistically, no problem. If we go down to a 1-bedroom and cut our rent in, it wouldn't be in half, but it would probably be 60 to 65%. Me and my girlfriend out here could do $600 realistically.
I mean, we're not going to get into logistics too much of like different areas of Da Nang, which is focused on the sort of cost of Vietnam in general, or beach city Vietnam, but you're in the absolute heart of the tourist district. For that $500 or $600 a month, if you get somewhere a little more residential, or say a couple kilometers away from the beach, a mile from the beach, you're talking a whole house for that price, or an apartment for $400 to $500, a nice apartment. Thanks so much for doing the budget line by line breakdown.
That's so good. Go check out Evan A. Good channel, good video, obviously. Subscribe over here so I can help teach more of you guys how to live a life by design rather than the one you're kind of stuck in and a little bit tired of in your home country, okay? All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.